Before we get started, here's a few highlights from today's game.
On the ground, that'll score a run. Torres at short fields and throws across in time with the Blue Jays. Take the 1-0 lead.
That one is driven deep to right center field. That ball is gone. A home run for Higashioka. High drive, deep left center field. See ya. Long home run for Higashioka. Swing and a miss. Got him.
Get your comments ready. Here's Derek with the post-game reaction.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Yankees win this one 3-1. Yankees win.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
They have 1-2. That his hand comes through. He kind of throws the bottom of his wrist at the hitter, and it's just an interesting way to throw. And he grunts like a tennis player making a serve. Ugh! On every single throw. Although I did read that you can add a little bit more velocity if you grunt when you throw. It never worked for me. Gerrit Cole, I wish there was more highlights of Gerrit Cole. The MLB film room did not add a reel from his outing today. I'll just give you the basics. He struggled a little bit when he first came out. Gave up a run in the first inning. He didn't have his best fastball right away. It was 95. He was throwing pretty good breaking ball, but he was missing with it off the plate, and they weren't biting. And his changeup early on was not super effective, but he set down the last 15 hitters he faced, looked really good. Aaron Hicks sat this one out due to the events in Minnesota. Fully support that because everyone's got their right to First Amendment right to protest peacefully. So at least that we were able to get some of the other guys in the lineup. Jays took advantage of the shift in the first inning. Cole didn't have his best stuff, but they singled through the right side a couple of times, and then, small ball. Run gets in on the ground ball to shortstop, which, by the way, how come it's a sac fly and doesn't count as an at-bat when you hit a fly ball to get in a run? But if you just hit a routine ground ball to a deep shortstop, something like that, or a ground ball to the opposite side that gets a run in, it does count as an out. I never thought that was fair. I think it needs to be one or the other. Let's see. Cole was grinding it out early, but he got better as the game went along. Gleyber Torres popped out in the top of the fourth. Way too many pop-outs from Gleyber Torres. He's really taking a big, big uppercut, and he needs to level out his swing, shorten up a little bit. He's not a home run hitter, man. I get that he has power. He can hit home runs. He did it this spring. He hit 5 of them, but he's trying to launch every pitch out of the park. Shorten up that swing. Get some base hits first. I promise if you just think small, put the ball in play, barrel up some balls, the home runs will come. He's strong enough to do it. He doesn't need to try and swing out of his shoes. And I'm getting so tired of seeing him hit pop-ups, weak pop-ups. Pop-ups are the worst kind of out, in my opinion. They're even worse than strikeouts. They're just like the easiest play to make, and they're just so boring to watch, and they're such a pathetic result. I'm so sick of pop-ups. The Yankees looked like they were guessing too much. Clint Frazier in particular, there was one at-bat where he didn't take the bat off his shoulder the entire at-bat. He's really kind of struggling, and he seems kind of in between. And I've always felt that when you're in a situation like that and you're not hitting, you need to swing your way out of it. Just go up there and hack. See ball, hit ball, right? Maybe think fastball. If you swing through a curveball, you swing through a slider, hey, it's better than taking a pitch right down the middle for a strike, right? Just give it a hack. Give it a try. Odor picked up the first hit of the game. He swings really, really hard, too. He's actually got a little bit more level swing than I thought he would. And I don't think he struck out many times so far as a Yankee. Has he struck out at all? I don't know if he struck out today, but he did hit the ball hard down the line. Higashioka, in the top of the fifth, hit his first home run of the night, an opposite field home run. You always love it when your backup catcher hits a home run because you don't expect power out of that position. But now Higashioka, I think, is tied for the team lead in home runs with 2. He just smacked it the opposite way, and the sound on that home run was amazing. Amazing. Mike Tauchman had an opposite field single. He also laced one down the left field line that was almost a double, and the guy had trouble with the lights. There was trouble, the fielders all had trouble with the lights all night long. You could see Gerrit Cole leaning in to get the view of the signs from the catcher. I just think the lighting at that field was really bad. Not that I am giving our offense an excuse or the Jays offense an excuse, but really the lighting was terrible at that field. And the outfielders definitely had a tough time. But I think they should play Tauchman more. You know, I just like his approach at the plate. I like that he takes what the pitcher gives him. Stanton doesn't look good at the plate right now. Very off balance. He waves and misses at a lot of pitches where he just seems to take a really bad, soft wave hack. For a guy who hits the ball as hard as he does, you know, consistently, 110, 115 miles an hour, at least once a week, twice a week, he hits one of the hardest balls in the entire league. And he's just not hitting the ball very hard right now. He's not having aggressive swings. Just doesn't look good right now. I thought Aaron Judge, you know, he had some good at-bats. He walked a couple of times. Obviously not raking like we're used to. You know, maybe those couple of days off kind of set back his timing a little bit, but he did walk a couple of times, so that's good. Gerrit Cole's final line after retiring the last 15 hitters he faced: 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. He's now 2-0 with a 1.47 ERA. Threw 98 pitches tonight, 65 strikes. Bullpen looks great. Justin Wilson had a nice 1-2-3 inning. Another bad at bat from Frazier in the top of the 7th. And then in the top of the 8th, Higgy hits a monster home run. I don't know if anybody got the distance on that home run. I didn't see it, but it looked like it went over the scoreboard. So it was a bomb. DJ LeMahieu, tough night, struck out 3 times tonight. He doesn't strike out very often. And then Darren O'Day, who's been as solid as you can get. I wanted the Yankees to trade for him last year, but Atlanta wouldn't give him up. But a really good day for Darren O'Day. He lost it there for a second, but gets the big strikeout of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to end the inning. Jameson Taillon tomorrow. Corey Kluber Wednesday. Yankees are back to 500. And oh yeah, Aroldis Chapman looks really, really good this year. Aroldis Chapman, this is the best he's looked since those days in Cincinnati when he was throwing 104, 105 every pitch. He's mixing that splitter. He's consistently upper 90s, and he seems like he can dial up to 100 or 101 whenever he feels like he needs to. So Ulysses Leon says that Gerrit Cole's going to win the Cy Young. Can we get a hashtag choo-choo for the Cole train? Armando Gomez says that Cole was tipping his slider. I'd be interested in hearing more about that, Armando, if you want to post exactly what he was doing, because I didn't notice it. Landon Thompson says a lot of strikeouts and double plays. Yeah, the Yankees they're hitting a lot of weak contact, a lot of soft ground balls, a lot of pop-ups. You see a lot of guys getting jammed. And at this point, I mean, it's mid-April. It's April 12th. The Titanic sinks in 3 days, April 15th. That's also the day I think Lincoln got shot. So it's getting to be mid-April. Guys are starting to get, 50, 60 at-bats, right? It's got to be. How many games have we had? That's 10 games. 4 at-bats a game, 5 plate appearances sometimes. Yeah, maybe 40 or 50. I'd say around 50 at-bats you should start hitting. So I feel like the Yankees need to get it going. Yo Elvis says Chapman topped out at 102 today. Lori C with the choo-choo. I didn't catch to see if Glasnow still has his no-hitter going. He had a no-hitter for a little bit tonight. He's been looking filthy. He struck out 8 of the first 9. Lil Bluefish says he and his dad, or she and her dad, is going to the Blue Jays game tomorrow. Yankees Blue Jays. Unhinged wants to give me crap. Don't forget that I predict had a nice day. I saw the double. He looked good out there. Hey, look, I got no complaints about Odor. Let's see. Hey, THG's giving me crap about it too. Hey, look, it's a long season. I think he's going to have a good... I was making a bold prediction. If it works out, it looks great. If it doesn't work out, nobody cares. You guys are giving me crap now, but nobody's going to remember in September. But yeah, I think the offense is going to be fine, right? Hey, super chat, Dono hype, appreciate that from Jesus Chavez. Frazier and Torres and Stanton need a couple of Guardy are doing good. I agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
So Torres especially, I think, needs a couple of days off. I think he needs to get into the cage. Stanton, I don't know. I hope he's not playing hurt. I have a suspicion. based on some of those swings. And I don't want to start the internet flurry of comments going like I did kind of with the Luis Castillo thing this winter when I speculated the Yankees might trade for him. But Stanton, to me, just doesn't look like he's swinging that hard. I'm a little worried that he's got something wrong in, like, you know, the middle of his body. Or his groin, or he just doesn't seem to be taking that aggressive hack. I could be wrong. It's just my untrained eye, but experienced eye. He doesn't look right out there. It could be just that his timing is really bad. Glaber is just, it's a mechanical mess, and he needs to hit the cage. He needs to hit the cage. By the way, thank you, Jesus. Would you rather have a long-term catcher, Sanchez or Higashioka? If you're making me choose, honestly, I have to choose Higashioka. I like him better defensively. And he seemed to hit whenever you put him in there. I like Sanchez. And I think that Sanchez is doing better this year. He's hitting 296. But Mike from the Av says Higgy defeated the Blue Jays himself today.
Yes, I agree.
Nelson Jekos says Boone should pull a Gardy in the dugout, maybe smash a few bats against the ceiling, maybe throw a water cooler. I would love to see that.
Excellent.
Squisher King says Glaber's approach at the plate needs to change. He's trying to hit the ball to the moon with every swing. Absolutely.
It's awful.
And by the way, what's with all the double plays? The Yankees are just hitting into so many double plays.
Double kill.
Stanton swinging a wet pool noodle. Yeah, Stanton, he waves. Like, you'll see him, and he's in his nice little stance there, but he takes a swing like a T-baller that's never swung a bat before. He just kind of waves his arms, just doesn't move his legs, doesn't turn his back foot. You know, they teach you to step on the eggshell and squish the bug, right? That means land soft on your front foot and take a nice big turn with those hips. That's one thing that Odor does really. Hips. I wrote down a note about it. What did I write down? I wrote down Odor really uses his hips. So that was a waste of time. But yeah, so Odor really gets those hips through the ball. Stanton, he seems like he's just super strong in his upper body, and he's got really good hand-eye coordination. So, and he's got decent timing. So when he lines it up well, he creates enormous exit velocity. And when he hits it out front, that exit velocity means long home runs, and lots of them when his timing is good. But right now his timing is bad, and so the fact that he doesn't use his legs, you'll see him kind of wave at the ball when he gets fooled, or he'll swing and his like back leg will get like twisted up behind his front leg. It's weird. So Stanton just doesn't look good right now. Joe Saban with the clutch. Higgy's home run went 427 feet. That's a long way for Higashioka. I don't know if he's ever hit a ball that far in his life. That is a long way. Okay, so Abaddon Rothman says, anything new on Clark Schmidt? So yes, he got a second opinion on his elbow. He's got some inflammation. Still nothing structurally wrong. He got a cortisone shot. They're expecting to get him back to throwing next week. So he is a little bit late in his recovery. Apparently that elbow was worse off than we thought. Or he's just a slow healer. Or sometimes, guys who have Tommy John surgery, you can have scar tissue in there. And so it causes some trouble healing. Hey, we got another dono. NY Finest 017 says, I wonder what John Sterling's home run is for Kyle. Getting Higgy with it. That is the home run call. So let's get the dono hype air horn. But yeah, hey, Jeff 8792 says, what do you think is wrong with DJ? I just think DJ's in a slump. I think that he's trying to pull the ball a little bit too much on the outside pitch. He's rolling over a lot of sliders. And when you do that, sometimes it can cause you to be, if you think it's a fastball and you're swinging at it to pull it and it ends up being a slider, that means you're not seeing the ball as you usually would. Because usually he just spits on that low and away slider, right? He doesn't try and pull it. He'll spit on it, get a good pitch to hit, and line it hard somewhere. That tells me he's not seeing the ball very well, which tells me that maybe his timing is a little off, or, sometimes when you're not seeing the ball well, it's because you're positioned slightly different and you don't realize it. You have different dominant eyes. He's a right-handed thrower, and he's a right-handed hitter. So that tells me his right eye is probably dominant. But as a hitter, as a right-handed hitter, your left eye is the one facing the hitter. So sometimes just a slight tweak in how you're looking at the ball can make a big difference. And by the way, speaking of looking at the ball, every time that Gleyber Torres puts on those glasses, he hits like crazy. And he hasn't worn them this year at all. Can we get hashtag Gleyber needs glasses right now? Because I think Gleyber needs to throw on the glasses, and I swear to God, if he starts hitting, he better not take them off. Lil Bluefish says, when will Luke Voit be back? Probably about a month. We're looking at about a month for Luke Voit. I miss Luke Voit. Ultimate Warrior says, big win, son. NYY Finest says, good show, bro. Most of these YouTubers are Met fans, and it's super sad. Hey, we got a lot of Yankee fans. I watched some of Pinstripe Strong watch party tonight. I love his watch parties. I'm going to be doing another watch party soon. I'm not sure when. Wednesday. I was going to do one Wednesday, but the game starts at 1 o'clock, so I can't. So maybe next Wednesday we'll do one. But yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of good Yankees YouTubers. I always go get my highlights from Dan Rourke, and of course John Boy and Jake, the gods of this thing. Talking Yanks is, it's amazing. They got their faces on billboards, so shout out to those guys. Ton of great Yankees content creators. Also, Unhinged Yankees Patrick, the man. He's on the 643 DP podcast with me. He goes live a little while after each Yankee game. He'll probably be going live here pretty soon. Severino, we're getting a lot of questions about Luis Severino. Severino probably be back, I would say, July. I know that there was some talk that he could be back in June. I think the Yankees are going to take it extra slow with him because we really do need him in the playoffs, right? He would be a dominant number 2. Give him a few extra starts to work at, or a few extra weeks to work at the alternate site to really get feeling good with his command, to face some hitters, and then call him up. If he's back by 4th of July, I'm happy. Ulysses says when Voit comes back, Giancarlo needs to go to the bench. That gets a clown horn. You're not going to sit down your $25 million man. Jerome says Yankees need to find a lineup and stick with it. I think that would help somehow. You're not wrong. There is something to consistency, knowing where you're going to be when you could get to the ballpark. NY Finest, I love this comment, man. I wish I could super chat you. He says, you and John Boy are like MJ and Scotty. I've never met John Boy. I've never talked to John Boy. I would love to chat with John Boy sometime, pick his brain a little bit. I think one day it would be nice to have him on a podcast or to join his. I just think, I love talking baseball with Yankee fans. He seems like a really knowledgeable guy. He's obviously a fun guy, a funny guy. I had some problems last year with his takes when he was saying that the Yankees weren't trying to win. I had some issues with that, and I don't like it when he films reactions from his bed on Twitter. But I'm a big fan of John Boy. I would love to get him on the podcast sometime. Swainer says, what would your lineup and bench be when this team is fully healthy? So lineup, I go. Originally I had Hicks at number 3, but I'm starting to rethink that, the way he swung the bat recently. So I'm going to go DJ leading off, Judge second. I'm going to slide in Gio Urshela at number 3. And then Voit number 4. And then Stanton 5. The way Sanchez is swinging the bat, I'm going to go with him at number 6. Frazier 7. Who am I missing? Hicks 8th. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Maybe Gleyber 8th, Hicks 9th. That's what I would do. But I think eventually Torres is going to start hitting. I think so. We'll see. Anthony Fernandez says 2-0 with Odor, just saying. I said tonight that I wonder how many times people pronounce it as Odor. That's got to be so annoying. Imagine that in class. Yes, we're doing attendance today. I'm the substitute. Mr. O'Neill, yes. Mr. Odor? Mr. Odor? All right, guys, let's call it a night. Be sure to go check out Unhinged Yankees. My boy Patrick probably going live right now. I'll see you guys next time. This episode is brought to you in part by Vector Travel. Visit bookings.vectorstays.com and enter the code NYY Recaps at checkout to get 10% off your next stay. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel.